The second question is about impact. So what event do you have planned for this year, even conceptually, that's going to have impact? Take 15, 20 seconds. What's going to have impact this year? Some event that you're going to do. And that impact could be you for you personally. That's going to change your life somehow. You're going to go to a personal development thing. Maybe you come to my wisdom council. I don't know what it is, but what's that impact? Something that's going to have an impact, or impact that you're going to have on the world, that you're going to deliver this conference or this retreat or something. Okay, as you're writing this, I'm going to tell you a story about this. So I was in one of Brendan Burchard's masterminds. We went to Cabo. This was 2018, I guess. I was in Cabo, and it's this big event. It's 2 days, and we're all sitting there, and we were in this little cabana hut thing right on the beach, because create the ambiance of like change, and you're hearing the waves in the background and all that kind of stuff. And so we were sitting in this thing. There's about 60 people there, I think, 60 people sitting in this cabana thing. And he asked a question that changed my life. He said, what one thing are you going to implement this year? What's the $100,000 idea that you're going to implement this year? You have 3 minutes. And it's just like, it's just like, wow. And so, that hit me like a wave. And I wrote 2 words down in my journal. And that was it. Machu Picchu. And I was like, and in some ways, and you guys all know this too, from a spiritual perspective, that wasn't a thought that I had. It was a download. It was like something touched me and said, you need to write Machu Picchu in your book right now. And I was like, okay, so I wrote it. And then I looked at that and I was like, and I broke out in a sweat, because I knew what that meant. And I knew it's like, oh God, what? Really? This is the thing? And so as you know, that was January. In September was my first wisdom council in Machu Picchu. I took people there. Now, that sounds huge to you guys. And part of that is my story. One of the reasons, it was huge for me, but there are things about me that I was doing training all over the world. So going to an exotic location is not something big for me. Putting on an event in an exotic location was not a big deal for me. Putting curriculum for a week wasn't a big deal for me. So I don't want to put that out there as like, oh, Patrick, he does these big things. It's like, I did stuff that was in my lane. But Machu Picchu was the stretch for me. So yours isn't going to be, okay, I'm going to follow Patrick's model and I'm going to do something in, Kathmandu. It's like, no, that's not the point. The point is do something very you, but then puts you beyond, that stretches you, right? So that's my story of an event that I did. So I'd like to hear what your thoughts on what's an impact thing that you're going to do this year. Let me tweak that just a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't have a group, you have a community. One of my themes for this year is to activate my Wisdom Council community. Activate community is one of my themes this year. And I just got off a call with Wisdom Council this morning, and we're so, I've said this so many times, we're more connected than ever before in human history, and we're lonelier than ever before in human history. So we're not very connected, and all that, even though we have Zoom and all these other great things. So I challenge you on that one, is to not just have a group that meets, but create a community, and whatever community means for you. But I think that's a richer term. And than just having a group that meets once a month, and it might invest you more. I wrestled similarly when I became an entrepreneur, coming out of Accenture. And I wrestled with that, and I wrestled with the brand. What was I going to call this? And it started with the Change Science Academy. I did that as my first brand. And I was like, nobody knows what the hell that is. And so I changed it like 3 or 4 times, and I landed on Significant Impact Monthly, what you guys are involved here. Just to give you my sense on that, it's a concept that's broad enough that I can do so much with this. It isn't just change management. It's not just the operating model, all the things that you said that people are failing, but I can talk about those things.
Mhm.
The thing that I like about this significant impact is because it also states the ambition. So think about that. It's like, what is the ambition you're heading for? Not what you do, the activities that you do. I do change management. But when people engage change management, what do they want? And so for a while, before this was called Significant Impact Monthly, I called it Success and Significance Monthly because I thought people want success. But it felt too generic to me. So anyway, I put that to you. It's like, have a broad enough topic here where it doesn't narrow you down, and you can talk about just about anything. And
Mhm.
I'll also credit Brendan Bouchard with that as well, because his whole area is called High Performance Academy. And what's good about that, I was like, oh, wait a minute, people want high performance, they just don't know how to do it. And then he defined what that means. And so there's a way to look at these things to engage people with their ambition. Nate, that's for you too, in activating community. What's the ambition of these people? And how do you engage on that, where they're always like striving for that piece? I'm striving for significant impact. And honestly, I love that too, because, as you guys do your 2024, I hope at the end of 2024, we go to 2025. And Paul, you're saying, instead of going, I don't need to be the keynote. Now at the end of 2024, you're going like, I'm out there I'm trying to go after the keynotes now,
Yeah, yeah.
because that's where the progress goes with the greater impact.